Hello everyone, so welcome back to the online class of physics class 10, and today we'll start a new chapter number 11, human eye and the colorful world. So in the previous chapter number 10, light, reflection and refraction, we have learned about the different types of reflection and the ways how light refracts when it passes through a transparent medium. Now some of these, in that part we learned about mirror and lens, and in this chapter we will use some of the lens concept here in the human eye part, in this eye part. So in this chapter we will learn about the structure of human eye, how human eye looks and how it works. Then we will see the different types of defects that occur in the human eye. Means we might have seen people using specs. So how these people have different type of eye defects, like some people can see objects which are near, some people can see objects which are far, means without using any other corrective measure or lens. So how these defects arises and how these defects can be solved, these things we will see in this chapter, with the with some more part of refraction, that is in the form of prism. That means in this chapter we'll learn about the eye. Then we'll see some more refractive part of different types of transparent object. That means here we will learn about prism, and then we will see how rainbows are formed and how these can be how the light passes and reflects to different optical medium. Now first let us start with the human eye. So human eye, the eye that is a part of our body, is a very interesting organ. It helps us to see different types of objects. We can know about the different colors. We can see we can visualize different colors. So everything is possible by the help of our eye, and it has some special parts. It has some of the special parts which helps us to see and to analyze the world around us. Now let us see about the different parts of the human eye. So I am drawing the structure of eyeball here. You can see the diagram is present in your book in the starting of the chapter. That means in page number 187. You can see it there. So first of all, our eye is simply a big sphere, or you can say big ball of fluids and connective tissues. It's a ball of tissues. Then in the outer part of the eye there is a very small layer and in the end there is the nerve which helps to connect the eye to our brain so that we can analyze and visualize the image that we have seen. Now let us see about the structure of the eye. First of all, whenever we look at someone's eye, or whenever we are looking at an eye, first of all we see only this part. Like if the eye whenever we look to anyone's eye, we see a structure somewhat like this. So to visualize about the white part, I have shaded the side of the eye. So whenever we see an eye, we see a structure somewhat like this. This is the white part that we see, and this is the black part, or our pupil. Then this is the lateral view, or we can say side view of the human eye. So in this part, at the very outer layer, the very outer part which is basically subjected to the different types of, means they are subjected to the outside world, is this part. This outer layer of the human eye is very important. It protects the eye from the dust and dirt and any kind of outer damage that can come or happen to the eye. So this outer part is known as cornea. This outer layer, the outer boundary that you can see, is known as the cornea. It is the outer part, very much outer part of the eye, which covers the eye with a smooth fluid that protects the eye from the dust and dirt that can come in contact with the eye and can even damage the eye. After that, there is that black layer, or you can see the black part of the eye, this one. This is the iris. Iris is basically this black part of our eye, this black portion, which we can see normally, which we normally see as the black part, is known as the iris. And in some people, the color of the iris sometimes may be different. The main function of the iris is to control the size of the pupil. It helps to reduce or increase the pupil size according to the light present in the environment. Then the inner part, this one, is the pupil. Pupil controls how much light will enter into our eye, because whatever we see or whatever color or whatever object we see outside near us, that is because of the eye and because of the light reflected by the object. So the amount of light, how much the light will enter, is controlled by the pupil, and the size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. After that, this one, I'm writing it here, this one is a crystalline lens. This is the lens present inside our eye, which helps us to focus the object clearly. Means if the object is far, we can see it clear. Even if the object is very near to our face or our eye, then also sometimes we can see it clear. This lens helps to make or form the image of the object that we see. After that, the size of the lens sometimes needs to be reduced, sometimes needs to be increased. That means the focal length of the lens sometimes reduces, sometimes increases according to the distance of the object from the eye. And this size of the lens is controlled by this part, this, or simply we can mark it like this one. These are the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles, there are two sets of ciliary muscles. Basically, we can say a pair of ciliary muscles. One in the upper part and one in this lower part. These ciliary muscles help to change the focal length of the eye lens. If we have to see objects which are far, then the eye lens become elongated, means focal length increases. If we have to see the things which are near, then the focal length reduces. This happens because of the ciliary muscles, which can reduce the size of the eye lens. We can make it small or can make it larger in size. After that, you see this part and this part. These two parts looks empty, but these are not empty, because inside our body there are muscles and fluids, and if there's any empty object which is soft, then these muscles and fluids will squeeze the object. Like for example, if our eyeball is empty from inside, then the muscle density or the fluids in our body will squeeze the eyeball. So to keep the eyeball in proper shape and to reflect the light properly, there are two fluids, one fluid in this part and one fluid in this front part, in this empty space. The fluid which is here is known as aqueous humor. Aqueous aqueous humor, and the fluid which is present in this part is known as vitreous humor. These two fluids help to reflect the light and provide a proper refractive index of the medium so that the light can reflect properly up to our eye. Now we have learned about the refracting property of light. Whenever light passes from one medium to another medium, the light changes its path, means the direction of the path of the light changes. So for example, if the light is coming like this and suddenly because of refraction the light changes its path, the light will went somewhere else. So to make this refraction in proper way, these two fluids are present there, and also these two fluids help to maintain the shape, or we can say the size of the eyeball. Then in the end of the eye, in the last part to the end, there is another layer which acts like a screen, which helps to form the image in our eye. This screen or this part, this one, is known as retina. Retina acts as a screen inside our eye. This is the place where images are formed, and then after the light falls on this retina, the light signals, means the light is converted to electrical signals or impulse, and then these are transported to our brain via this part. This is known as optic nerve. This sends all the light in form of electrical signals to the brain, and then our brain forms the image of the object that we see. How these images forms we'll see in the upcoming videos. Thank you. This much only for today.